Consumer demand for electric vehicles, well, we know that's risen drastically over the years, and more states across the U.S. are looking to ban gas-powered cars. Democratic Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont recently proposed regulations to make cars and trucks cleaner to help reduce the state's air pollution. Yahoo Finance anchor Rochelle Akufo spoke with Governor Lamont on the push for cleaner cars, the long-lasting impact of the UAW strike, and job creation among the auto industry. Take a listen.
This is a North Star. We know where you and a lot of, probably half the American population wants to be in terms of having just EVs being sold after 2035. Makes a big difference because most, Rochelle, of the pollution in our state, ambient pollution, is related to automobile and truck traffic on our highways. So if we can reduce that by moving people to EVs, that's a good thing for the industry and that's a good thing for our environment.
And it can be tough, though, because for a lot of people, they're sort of seeing some mixed messaging here, especially as we think about the UAW strikes. I mean, you have President Biden, who was on the picket line with workers, but then you had former President Trump at a non-union shop saying, look, it doesn't even matter what sort of deal the workers work out because EVs are going to kill your jobs. So in terms of the messaging that's out there, do you think it's being conveyed in a way that can actually get voters encouraged and on board?
I hope so. We're going to be producing these cars, we're going to be producing the batteries, you're going to be installing EV charging stations. It's going to be a different type of job, but like all new industries, it's going to be a job creator at the end of the day. So I understand the hesitancy of some of those that make the internal combustion engines, oh, woe is me, let's not change what we do. But I think it's progress, and I think it's also going to be progress in terms of good paying union jobs.
But do you think we're going to see that sort of bipartisan support, though, especially in a divided Congress?
Oh, I didn't say that. I think there'll be some pushback probably. I think after, $5 a gallon gasoline going back a year or two, people are very cautious about price. And I think, auto workers want to make sure their jobs are there. But at the end of the day, I think this is a plus for the consumer and it's a plus for the auto workers.
Now, something else I want to talk about, the Connecticut economy here. We know it did start off on a rather sluggish foot. It was relatively flat to start off the year. How has that changed now? And what sort of policies are you putting in place to boost the economy and really signal, especially to consumers who want to spend and people who want to come and work in Connecticut, that this is the place to be?
Connecticut economy is actually very strong. We have more private sector workers today than ever before in our history. We got 90,000 plus jobs that are unfilled at this point. It's a great time to be a young person. We'll provide you all the skills training you need, be it electric welder, or be it a nurse, or be it a teacher. We'll provide that. We can guarantee you a job at the end of the day, a job right here in Connecticut.
And you're going to have a lot of people wanting to flood and come down there. But in terms of where the need is, in terms of worker availability and worker shortages, where does Connecticut have the strongest need?
Certainly in manufacturing, as you maybe know, we make submarines and helicopters and jet engines, and there we're hiring many thousands every year to keep up with the demand. That's going to be strong demand for the foreseeable future. Greater New Haven areas are related to life sciences and biotech. I think a lot of demand there. And we have financial services and fintech from Hartford and down in Stamford, and there it's going to be AI and IT and those skills were really ramping up. So these are good paying modern jobs that are ready for you.
And in terms of how you're looking at some of these modernized jobs, I know Connecticut was also known as an insurance state as well, but you also have a lot of people looking for these innovative companies, looking for places to move, and also with some beneficial taxes as well. What is Connecticut doing to really bring that in?
We have probably 1,000 new startups a month going on right now. We used to be the startup capital. Remember Eli Whitney and Igor Sikorsky, the cotton gin and the helicopter. We got a little flat, but no longer. It's a very innovative economy. And that's what our marketing campaign is, reintroducing people to how modern and innovative our economy is. We call it Make It Here. It's a way to remind young people and those looking for a job, state-of-the-art innovative jobs are right here in Connecticut.
And something else that might lure people, you recently signed the largest income tax cut in Connecticut history into law this year, and you credit that with fiscal discipline in being able to make that move. But you're not supportive of higher taxes on the wealthy to really help boost the middle class there. Talk about that dichotomy there and how you were able to do this for the middle class and why you're not as eager when it comes to taxing the wealthiest Americans in the state.
Because we raised taxes a lot over the previous 20 years, and I wanted to be the first governor in the state not to raise taxes. We've had 5 balanced budgets in a row without raising taxes. We're living within our means, and that meant we've had some significant surpluses. That means I can provide a tax cut for everybody earning up to about $250,000. Makes us very competitive with the other states in our region and beyond. And it just sends a message. This is a good state to be in, a good state to start a business, good state to start a family.
And that's usually one of the reasons, people move to a state. You want good governance, you want the jobs, you want the infrastructure. Unfortunately, though, as we take a look at what's happening in the House and the governance there, the House Speaker fight that is ongoing, and especially as we're going to be coming into November, looking again at another potential government shutdown. What are your takeaways from how you're seeing this playing out at the moment and really the message that it sends?
I find those Republican congressmen a little flip when they talk about shutting down government. Talk to our governors, 50 governors, Republicans, Democrats, we can't shut down. You can't shut down corrections. You can't shut down state police. You can't shut down our schools. We can't shut down nurses and taking care of people with special needs. So we can't play these games. I like working with my fellow governors because we got to get the job done.
And do you notice a difference at the governor level in terms of the amount of, well, not so much bipartisan support, but how much progress you're able to make? And then when you sort of take a look at some of your colleagues in the House and really the clashes that they're continuing to have here?
We work together pretty collaboratively. When you have the infrastructure money, how you're putting it to work, what's the best way to build a bridge? I mean, these are not Republican Democratic issues. These are things that we share in common. We have common goals to get it done. And frankly, what's good for my state, Connecticut, I'm part of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New York as well. I want them to succeed because their success is our success. And we compare notes all the time. I find down in Washington, it's just the opposite. It's a dog-eat-dog game.
And our thanks to Rochelle Kufo for that interview.